Hey guys, Psycho Chef here, and welcome to what would have been a Guild Wars 2 hype video. Unfortunately, due to time constraints as well as a never-ending work week this week, I was not able to actually do a video, so instead I'm just going to do a brief overview of the one profession that I have studied in detail, the Elementalist. The Elementalist is your basic casting class. They have attunements to earth, water, fire, and air, being the different attacks and abilities that they're able to use. So for example, you're running around with your fire aura, excuse me, not fire aura, I'm going into pally speak. You're running around with your fire attunement, and then you decide to change to air attunement, and you can just click the air attunement icon and it changes to your air attunement, and you can do it with all the elements. You can switch back and forth anytime you please. You can be running around, you cast a spell, and instantly switch to something else and cast a completely different spell. This makes the Elementalist very dynamic, which I think is really cool. The only thing that I kind of disliked, but it's a reason that it's there, is the fact that the Elementalist, from what I can understand, is the only profession that cannot hot swap weapons in combat. Now, as much as I am not too happy with that idea, it is a good concept, because if you switch up the four attunements with the 4 or 5 or 6 or however many weapons and offhands the Elementalists can use, they would be completely overpowered. It would just be ridiculous. They would be unbeatable, essentially. So I can kind of understand why ArenaNet decided to take that step. And just in case you were wondering why I think that would be OP, here's your answer. This is a lot of things to be able to switch to, and if we were able to switch weapons in combat, just like all the other professions, we would have access to all of this, except, of course, the aquatic stuff, because that's only when you're underwater. So the Elementalist, instead of being able to switch weapons, switches their attunements instead. So, for example, as a Guardian, I have a sword and shield. I switch to an axe and a shield, and my first 3 abilities, change to the axe abilities. As an Elementalist, I can't do that. Instead of changing from a main hand dagger to a main hand scepter, I have to figure out which one I want to use in combat, depending on what scenario I'm in, and then I just change attunements. So I have my Dragon's Claw because I'm using my dagger, and my main hand I've got a Dragon's Claw, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this, I don't really want to do this anymore, I'm getting bored. I switch to air attunement and I start casting Lightning Whip, and all 5 abilities change to whatever the weapon that I have equipped, or the weapons that I have equipped are. Whereas other professions, all they have to do is switch out their weapons to gain access to that. So it's a little tit for tat, and I do think it's well balanced, although I think that the Elementalist would be really awesome if they could be able to do all that stuff. So some of you might be wondering, why am I going to play an Elementalist? And the answer is because I want to. In real life, I have a tendency to put the needs of others before mine. I care about other people more than I care about myself sometimes. And I kind of transfer that into my gaming experiences. That's why I enjoyed playing a healer in WoW, is because I was helping people, I was keeping people alive. It made me feel good about myself, in essence. You can get into whatever psychological mumbo-jumbo you want, but that's the basic gist of it. And so, as an Elementalist, I get to do that. I get to help people out. They're a good supporting class. I like casters. As you can see, they're very well designed. This one just happens to be really hot. Don't judge me. But in all seriousness, I like having the ability to help other people. I like the fact that they are a caster class. I like caster classes. I think they're fun to play. So they're a supporting class, they're a caster class, they can switch between different elements, they can cast earth, water, fire, and air spells whenever they want to, and I think that that's really cool. That just appeals to me personally. I can't answer any questions about why you would want to play an Elementalist. That's why I want to play an Elementalist. And why am I going to play a Norn Elementalist? Well, because the Norn are awesome. I'm 6'3". I'm taller than most people that I know. I usually don't look up at people, and I don't fancy the idea of looking up at people in the game, which is why I probably will not be creating the Masura until later on. But more so than that, the Norn can shapeshift. You see this polar bear looking guy? Yeah, that's a Norn. I know, it's friggin' awesome. how many other games can you shapeshift into something? And I don't mean like WoW, where you can shapeshift into a cat or a bear or a tree or whatever. I mean a humanoid whatever. You can, I mean, the Norn can shapeshift into bears. They can shapeshift into like ravens or wolves or snow leopards. I mean, you know, there's probably going to be a plethora of things that they can shapeshift into. And they're going to retain humanoid stature and, you know, being able to walk upright and on two limbs. So that's not changing into another creature, that's shape-shifting. And yes, there is a difference. On top of that, the Norn are just really intimidating. And in real life, I'm not. And so I want to kind of change that in the game. And so that's why I'm going to play a Norn. Another reason I'm going to play the Elementalist is the utility skills. The utility skills seem to be a little familiar to me. They seem to be things that I'm going to pick up on a little quicker than if I was to play a different profession. They have healing abilities. They have different glyphs and different signets that they can use. They have, you know, escaping tricks for PvP, like the mist form. You can just run away from people real quick. They have elite skills like being able to pull out a fiery greatsword and turning into this massive tornado that throws your enemies all around. And I mean, how many times have you seen a caster just have this giant flaming sword come running at you to tear your face off? That's just awesome. So that's why I'm going to be playing an Elementalist. Well, that's about it for me for today. Again, I'm sorry that I didn't get to do my dungeon video tonight. I was looking forward to it, but I just didn't have the time to do any research, take notes, and all that kind of stuff. The time constraints just really caught me off guard this week, so I do apologize about that. Do plan to get them finished at some point, either maybe later this week or early next week. And who knows, might even just start doing backgrounds on all the other professions and maybe some of the classes that we can play, and who knows what else. But if you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know, send me a message, comment, whatever, and let me know if you have any suggestions, if there's anything in particular you want to know about, and I will do my best to oblige. But that's it for today, and until next time, guys, I'm Psycho Chef, and I'll catch you guys later.